The word Nasi Goreng in Malaysian or Indonesian means fried rice. This is such a great recipe to do when you've got leftover rice. And I'm using the combination of chicken and prawns to make it a little bit more glamorous. Now, just like any other stir fry, it's all about preparation and preheating your wok. I've put a large wok on a high heat, and you really do want it to get quite smoky so everything is cooked really fast. I've started to chop my chili, so that's just one long red chili, along with 2 cloves of garlic that I'm going to slice very thinly if possible. And I've pre-sliced my shallots. That's 2 French shallots, or they're also called purple shallots. Now, a generous amount of oil in the bottom of the wok, and I can see that that's really hot and smoky. See how there's smoke coming up? Now, let's get our garlic and chili in first. Great sizzle there, along with the shallots. And we'll give that a really quick toss. And while that's just softening, that's going to take 30 seconds. That gives me enough time to prepare my chicken. Chicken breast, a small chicken breast of about 200 grams. I like to use chicken breast for this recipe because it cooks in no time at all. I'll take the tenderloin off, cut that in half, and then with the rest of the chicken breast, we want everything to be the same size, into strips of about 4 centimetres. You could also use thigh, but you'll just have to cut it thinner. So the chicken can go in now. This is going to take the longest to cook, so that's why it needs to go in. Give that a stir. And while that's cooking, we can get on to our sauce. I'm adding a combination of sambal shrimp paste, about a tablespoon, and sweet soy, which is very similar to ketchup manis. I love this because it's got a really syrupy, sweet flavour. It's an Indonesian style soy sauce. So 2 tablespoons. And then for some extra sweetness, good old tomato sauce. And that's the sauce done. 3 ingredients. All right, let's have a look at our chicken. Fantastic. I'll just use my wooden spoon here to separate that chicken, tossing some of the bits that haven't been cooked properly. Now that the chicken is almost cooked, let's prepare the egg. I'm just going to simply fry the egg, so a little bit of vegetable oil into a separate pan. And then I'll break the egg directly into the pan. Perfect. And now for the prawns. These have just been deveined. I've left the tail on because it looks so great for presentation. I put a big handful of them in there. And again, toss just to start the cooking process. I hate overcooked prawns, so by the time I add all the other ingredients, they'll be perfectly cooked. So give them about 20 seconds, and then I'll add our vegetables. Vegetables of choice, this is what I had in my fridge today. You can add whatever you like. I'm going to start with some beans, a big handful of beans, in a big handful of freshly grated carrot, and some tomatoes. I like 2 textures of tomatoes in my Nasi Goreng. I'm going to add a big handful now, just cherry tomatoes, and I'll add a few more at the end for presentation. So we've got the freshness of the tomatoes and then the sweetness of the tomatoes that have just been blistered. All right, that egg is almost ready, so I'm going to turn the heat off. Now we'll give our pan another quick toss, and it's time to add our sauce so it reduces and thickens. We'll pour that in, scraping the bowl. And now it's really starting to take shape and it's smelling fantastic. Look at that dark, rich colour. Beautiful. Now for the leftover rice. This is just room temperature rice. It's just brought out of the fridge. And then I'm going to put a few big handfuls. Separate it between your fingers so we don't get clumps of the rice. This is just long grain, but you could use basmati or jasmine rice is fantastic. And essentially, we're just heating up the rice now and mixing it so all of the sauces penetrate into the rice. Fantastic. Now, a few more ingredients. I love the addition of some cabbage. This is just Chinese cabbage. I'm going to just shred it. And again, a small handful is plenty. And this will just wilt at the very last minute. Herb of choice, coriander. small handful. Don't finely chop it, roughly chop it. And then in it goes. This is why I love stir fries, because it's just so easy to put together. One last toss so we can wilt that cabbage, and we're done. Simplest dinner to make, or a breakfast. I'll get a big spoon and then we'll serve this up. Making sure we add enough of the prawns and the chicken. Great. And now for the fresh component of this fried rice. A few bean sprouts, crunchy bean sprouts on the top. Don't forget those tomatoes that I reserved. I'll add a few of those to the top. Look at that, bright colours. This is what you call a happy fried rice. So much going on, so much flavour. And then our perfectly fried egg can just sit proudly on the top, just like that. And the little lemon wedge on the side. That is simple, easy to make, tasty, a fried rice, sunny side up.